Thanks to Babbel for sponsoring this video. More about them later. Normally I try to keep this side of me to myself, but there's been such a great travesty in the film world that I have to let it out. And maybe I'll never let it back in. Alright, just a warning, this is a video about the combination of two of my passions, Steven Soderbergh and Star Wars. There might be some Star Wars spoilers. These stars have wars? But I mean, if you're not caught up in Star Wars, like, I mean, if you don't know every little thing about all Star Wars. I mean, like, if your interests don't align perfectly with mine, I mean, like, it's your own fault. Side note, I think John Green should write a book called The Wars in Our Stars. Think of the money, John. I can't be the first one to make this joke. I hate that I have that thought all the time. Side note over. People at the top of the film world, stop playing it so safe. Not everything is gonna be a box office success. Some things you didn't think would be, will be. But the overall effect of your capitulating is people just not going to the movies at all anymore. And the movies being made becoming samey and bland, and we're all robots just going, colors, noises. To be fair, there are recent examples of some pretty great movies that were a bit of a risk, but not enough. You can say the same thing about YouTube with all the standards and best practices that have emerged. Oh boy, look at the time. Click like and subscribe. The marriage of capitalism and art is it's a rocky one, but I think you're gonna have a bigger long-term benefit by valuing art. Okay, what am I talking about? In an interview, Adam Driver revealed that him and Steven Soderbergh, he and Steven Soderbergh, were working on a script for a new Star Wars movie for 2 years. The Hunt for Ben Solo. Adam Driver said it was one of the coolest projects he's ever been a part of. It was approved by Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, a bunch of people, and then it got to the desk of Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, the guys at the top of Disney, and they said no, because they didn't understand why Ben Solo would still be alive. Fair point. A lot of the Star Wars fandom might have had issue with it, but they have issue with everything. In a universe with the Force, which can do different things depending on the movie, you can make anything happen. And I would want to make a Steven Soderbergh Star Wars movie happen because I love everything the guy does. Traffic, Aaron Brockovich, Sex, Lies, and Videotape, The Limey, the man predicted the pandemic with Contagion, Logan Lucky, a great heist comedy that also not enough people watched, Ocean's 11, the quintessential heist comedy that lots of people watch. Even the things he does that everybody hates, I love. The man knows how to tell a story that feels fresh, original, fun, well put together, fluffy. I was looking for adjectives. And true, sometimes they don't do well, and a Star Wars movie will probably cost a lot of money and could potentially lose a lot of money. I get it, but no, I don't. Also, I didn't read the script. Maybe it was dumb, but it seemed like everyone seemed to like it, and and if you give an auteur like Tony Gilroy a Star Wars property and he makes Andor, which I think is one of the best Star Wars things ever made. First couple episodes are a little slow. If you gave it a try and you didn't like it, you gotta get past those first couple episodes. I'm telling you, it gets good. Then why not do it again? Not that I really care about or think about this much at all. They also apparently rejected a David Fincher Star Wars project. Excuse me, the guy that did Seven and Fight Club and Gone Girl and Zodiac and Social Network? Amateur. I wasn't there for the negotiations. I know Fincher likes to have a lot of control, and Soderbergh probably does too. But trying too hard to protect the property. Star Wars is messier and should be messier than you want it to be. Make Star Wars a messy bitch. Look at the original trilogy. Everyone's hair was a messy bitch. George Lucas's being the messiest bitch of all. Everything was dirty. It was puppetry. It was slapped together with duct tape and heart. In a recent interview, George Lucas said that the rebels were based on the Viet Cong.
They're using asymmetric warfare against a highly organized empire. I think we call those guys terrorists.
When I did it, they were Viet Cong.
Were you thinking of that at the time?
Yes. You think that would have gone over well back then on Elon's Twitter? It was weird, it was risky, it was awesome. But you know what isn't weird, risky, but is awesome? Which is a segue into me thanking the sponsor of this video, Babbel. I want to finally be better at another language besides the language of film. And as we all know, body language. You might have a trip coming up somewhere where you don't speak the language, or you might need to learn a language for professional development, and or like me, you just want to expand your knowledge. And someday, should you travel to Central or South America or Spain, and you'll be able to speak the language better, or better communicate to your own fellow citizens right here in this country. Babbel is an award-winning app that makes learning a new language simple and effective. With Babbel, you can learn a variety of languages. Spanish, French, German, Italian, Danish. They only told me to say 3, but I'm going to say a bunch. Portuguese, Danish, Russian, Indonesian, Polish, Wookiee, not Wookiee, yet. Babbel courses are created by over 200 language experts. It's like having a little language tutor in your pocket. Maybe put him in the pocket without the keys, because keys have sharp corners. My favorite part about Babbel is the real-time feedback that helps me stay motivated. The dog bark was actually my dog. That's not in the app. And I can also listen to podcasts in another language. It's always been difficult for me to learn another language in a school setting, but this, for some reason, is just working well with my brain. Apparently a lot of other people, because it has over 25 million subscriptions sold and over 1.6 million 5-star ratings in the App Store. I signed up for Babbel when I realized I go to this Mexican place pretty often, and I just really want to be able to speak only Spanish to the people who work there. People in my everyday life. It would be cool to just talk in their native language. Since using Babbel, I can now say, Me llamo Luke Skywalker, estoy aquí para rescatarte. Donde está el baño? So if you want to start learning a new language, click the link in the doobly-doo. That's from a language I made up, meaning description, or go to babbel.com/Wheezy. You'll get up to 55% off your subscription. That's babbel.com/Wheezy. Gracias. Okay, now that I've thus far lobbed a bunch of anger at the film industry, let's switch gears. I'm not only making this video directed at you, Bob Iger and Alan Rickman. I knew it wasn't Alan Rickman. I was making a joke. Alan Bergman. Bergman? Berg is in your name just like Soderbergh. You guys should just be buds. Soderbergh has an H in it, but that stands for hello, bud. I'm such a dork. But as I've said before, a lot of the things I say in my videos are also directed at me. I've been doing YouTube for 18 years, and in the early days, I was doing whatever the hell I wanted, and it was so fun and so free, and it is what built up my initial audience. Over time, things changed. The world changed. YouTube changed how they value what gets views. I changed. I got more bald. Maybe I was getting sick of doing the same jokes all the time. My own motivations changed. I wanted to maintain what I'd built. I didn't want to lose it. You know, like the well-being of a family you might have now. For instance, I was driving around that 91 Corolla for years. It was falling apart and I didn't care at all. But then when China lived with me, not the whole country, my wife, the country used to live with me, but then they moved out because they decided they wanted to be the new global superpower. That's my favorite thing about my wife. She doesn't want to be a global superpower. Anyway, I wasn't only worrying about the safety of myself, so I had to strive to not have grubby things. It was worth it because of love and fear of soul-crushing loneliness. As time goes on, you just get more risk averse. You want to do the things that work because you have things to lose. From my own experience, I have found new ways to make things, and I've made a lot of great things, especially in the last 5 years, that I'm very proud of. Some of it truly from the heart and being truly honest, but overall, I'm also kind of trying to just do what I'm supposed to. And it's less fun, and it has less soul, and I feel like it slowly will die over time. Much like the film industry. But maybe that's not true. I think things ebb and flow. You go through periods of being a little too conservative with your ideas and then loosening it up. Maybe that's just the nature of things. With this video, I'm trying to bring back the weird. I was thinking about what video I should make, and I'm like, well, what's on my mind right now? And eliminated anything about like what I should make. And this is what I wanted to talk about. And I'm making it in the same way I used to make my early videos. Literally making it up as I go along. I will shoot this, stop recording, and then I'll take the card out, put it in the computer, put the footage there, edit, take the card back out. The old in, out, you know what I'm saying? Put it back in, hit record, and then I will shoot more. Sometimes I'll go back and add jokes to earlier stuff. Like what would be a good one? Ooh, the old in, out, you know what I'm saying? It's from A Clockwork Orange, speaking of messy, risky movies that have gone on to be classics. So yeah, things change, you build something up, you have something to lose, so over time, you become more risk-averse. But there's another thing happening, which is there are way more opportunities for everyone to comment on every aspect of life, and you can never please everyone. More than that, there is an ability for people of like mind to band together to hate something. I think that must be ignored as much as possible. Stick to your guns, stick to what you believe in, I think is always the case. I mean, if you're the head of Disney, that you're the head of a lot of different voices, and maybe that's a very difficult position to be in, but I think there's room for lots of different points of view, different movies for different audiences, different flicks for different dicks, you know what I'm saying? Even under the same IP like Star Wars. IP, UP, everybody peace. I'm among the group that really likes The Last Jedi. We are many. And I think I learned long ago how to identify constructive criticism versus just a bunch of hate that you should ignore. There have been times where I've worked on projects outside of my own channel with other people that we put online, and it'll get some good comments, and then there'll be like a negative comment, and then everyone in the project will have a discussion about it. And I'll be like, oh yeah, you guys don't see negative comments all the time. You think this is important. If you know what you're doing, you know who you're doing it for, you know what it's supposed to accomplish, you can ignore negative comments. If you're an IP and you're in certain groups hate what you're doing, you don't have to bow to every single thing they say. I recognize that I'm one of the negative commenters right now on what you're doing, but mine's more like the constructive criticism or whatever. Look, it's a messy business, but just, come on, let's just take some more risks, okay? That's my point. And rejecting a Soderbergh Star Wars movie is one of the great Hollywood tragedies. Speaking of Hollywood, I made a movie! I didn't make it in Hollywood, but, you know, segues. Not the mode of transportation. You know what I'm saying. No Packers, No Life. It's about Japanese Green Bay Packer fans. It's currently showing in select theaters in Wisconsin. Marcus Theaters, to be exact. I may have some news about it in the near future, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, if you've seen it, there's an IMDb page. It's official. You can go rate it. I would love for you to rate the movie on IMDb if you can. That helps the movie, apparently. There's me. There's me. That's me. I'm in a movie text block. My dream!
I'm in print! Things are going to start happening to me now.
Want me to make a Star Wars movie, Disney? I know I've only made a documentary so far, but I'll make a narrative first, and then we'll talk. May the Force be with you. I'm Craig Benzine. Thank you for watching. Body language.